Hello everybody, and welcome to the High Performance Garden Show. We are on week 22 and summer and the garden are in full swing. It's really hard to believe that we'll be having frost in about 6 weeks, and that just blows my mind. But with a few covers we can extend the garden season at least 4 more weeks after our first frost. But it's not frosty today, so let's get started. We're going to start right here in the tomatoes, and I think we'll start with our harvest. Get us a basket. Oh, we got some more of these little grape tomatoes. Sometimes jelly bean tomatoes. They're a little tiny. Kind of a strange crop this year, but hey, they taste good. Oops, come here. Okay. Actually quite a few of these little guys. Tomatoes I'm still harvesting once a week. You can harvest as many times as you want during the week as long as they're ripe. Sometimes I'll harvest twice a week, just depends on the weather. We had a chicken get in, and the chicken really likes tomatoes. She came straight for this garden, and she took out 1, 2, yeah. She ate the side out of that one. She ate this one, 3. She ate this one, 4. They're drippy. Yeah, one chicken can really take it down. Then the other thing I got going on today is sun scald. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. This is kind of a high elevation type thing. So what happened is we watered in the heat of the day, and then there was a puddle on this tomato. It was sitting this way, and that sun shined through that water and it cooked the tomato. And I have a couple of them here that we cooked like that. So it's not a disease or anything. It's environmental. It's us. We watered the wrong time of day and we cooked our tomatoes. So, you know, people on the coast, lower elevation, cloudier weather, you've probably never seen this before, but this is one of the problems we have in the desert and the high altitude is sun scald. So I'll take those off. I'll feed those to the chickens. And we'll continue to get some of these little grape tomatoes. One of the things that I'm starting to see is, like, this one's got some chew marks on it. And this is the roly-polies. And I brought out this is my Sluggo Plus. This one happens to be made by Monterey. It is OMRI listed, which means it's organic and it's okay to use in my garden. If you're not sure what things you can use in your garden, look for the OMRI listed. And this is just little pellets, and they have a substance in them called spinosad, and the spinosad will is a bacteria that infects the roly-polies, the slugs, the snails, and the earwigs. And I do have seen some earwigs here in the garden. So we're just going to sprinkle some of this around the garden today. I'll probably do it for a couple weeks just to start slowing down those roly-polies, because they're starting to do a little damage. They're eating a few of my tomatoes. Let's see, I'm going to finish my harvest here. Got a few more. Some nice big red tomatoes in here today. Ooh, look at that guy way down there. I had some tomatoes planted in one of my other gardens, and we decided to do it more the old-fashioned way, and we only put one trellis about 4 feet high, one string, and clipped it once and didn't cut off any suckers, and those things are a disaster. It's like, now I remember why I don't garden that way. Because they're full of branches. The tomatoes are laying on the ground. I threw half of them to the chickens just because they were rotten. And it's like, boy, just spending a few minutes. I mean, we didn't spend more than a few minutes clipping and tying these tomatoes up. It makes such a difference in your harvest, especially when the tomatoes are up out of the soil. The roly-polies like to eat the tomatoes that are in the soil, which I will show you in just a second. Look at the damage I got going on here. This is the roly-polies, and this is the tomato sitting in the soil. So by getting them up out of the soil, we're not getting that kind of damage. So, learn to trellis. You know, the plans for the easy trellis are on our website. The plans are free. You can get that. You can get your tomatoes up out of the soil and keep the roly-polies from eating them. Okay, this is a very interesting mix I have in my basket today. I have good tomatoes, I have drippy tomatoes, I have chicken peck tomatoes. I'm going to have to sort that pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look at the tomato plants. And we do need a few clips. Let's put one on this guy. Ugh, I'm gooey. Tomato juice everywhere. Take a few suckers off here. Would you like a clip? Yes, you would. I try to put a clip about every foot and away from the fruit. This guy could go down a little bit more. See, it just takes a few minutes to maintain these vines. Keep your tomatoes up out of the soil and just get a better harvest. As I say, if you put all this work into a tomato plant, you want to harvest, but we haven't put all that much work into it, have we? That's what I love about this garden. It's just super easy. Okay, coming around. I see a couple big suckers on this one. A little sucker and a big sucker. Take those out. There's a sucker here. That guy doesn't need a clip. And we need to move this one. Oop. All right, tomato, round you go. I don't want that to where my fruit isn't sitting in the soil. I'll put another clip on it right there. It's okay if the tomatoes stick up above the trellis a little bit. You just don't want them high enough up that they bend over and break. Okay, I have a cluster of tomatoes here. They are kind of sitting on the soil. So I'm just going to take them and wrap them up on top of the stem. So they're sitting up on top of the stem where the roly-polies can't get in them. Okay, let's get our Sluggo. This is Sluggo Plus. You don't want Sluggo regular. I guess the Plus is the extra stuff that gets the roly-polies, sometimes called pill bugs, and the earwigs. Okay, the tomatoes are done. I didn't see any bugs. You know, last week we had those tomatoes with the worms in them. I think those were just cabbage loopers. They were lost. I haven't seen any critters since. I have not started any BT spray. I'm just going to keep an eye on them. I don't think we need to spray them. If you're getting a lot of chewing with the tomato hornworm, then that's probably a good time to spray them. Okay, Shigaiku. This stuff is crazy. It's just going and going. So it makes a nice meal once a week. I'll throw that in a stir fry. And gives me some different mineral mixes for my body. Always a good thing. Looking at the cabbage patch here, I was thinking about turning it into a turnip patch. I have several little cabbage heads. There's probably 6 or 8 of them in here that need about another week. They're not quite firm enough. If you give them a squeeze, and if they are squishy, then they're not firm enough to harvest. But I'm thinking another week, so I'm just going to leave these for a week. And then we'll make our decision next week, but we'll definitely get a nice harvest next week. Okay, nice haircut on those. Got some more in the front here. Just cut them off, flower buds and all. Just give them a haircut. If they're getting too long and stemmy, you can just whack the whole plant back to about 6 inches and let them come up again. It's a nice thing about plants is they're really versatile. It's like trimming a hedge, isn't it? These stems are very tender though. I'm cutting through them really easily. And that's what's going to make them good in the fry pan. Is that tenderness. Okay, looky there. A nice snack. Got a few flowers. I'll probably pop those off before I eat them. Yeah, there's 3 in here. Yeah, that'd actually make 2 meals. That's really awesome. This stuff just keeps going. Okay, this section doesn't really need anything. I'm just going to wait until the cabbage gets a little firmer, and then we'll harvest that next week. So we're going to move on to the cucumbers. And the first thing that I want to do is look at the new leaves. I'm not seeing the spots. You can look on the back side. Do you see webbing? I think our spider mite predators really clean these up. There's a chance that we could get a new flush of spider mites anytime, so I want to really keep an eye on it. But for now, we're good. So we're just going to keep going with what we're doing. I can always order some more predators if I need to. I do like the predators because they're easy. You just put them on and you're done. But we did have to put them on more than once. Okay, on the cucumber hunt. Okay, we got one so far. Up here's some more. These things are so good. Okay. Oh, we're going to get quite a few today. Plants are happy. I can tell. Happy plants make lots of good food. The cucumbers, they like it warm. We keep them well watered. Got the bugs off of them. They're well fed. They're happy. Okay, that's it on the cucumbers. 1, 2, 3, there. We got 6. That'll be great. We'll eat all those this week. Not a problem. Okay, now we're moving on down to the zucchini. There's a couple things I want to do here today. One of them is I want to clean off some of the older leaves. See some of these older leaves? They're just looking a little ratty. So we're just going to trim those off. And then I noticed something really interesting. This particular zucchini, it's just one vine coming out there. It terminated, which means there's no growing tip on it anymore. It put out these last leaves, and without a growing tip, we're not going to get fruit. We're not going to get anything. I do not know if it'll side branch at one of the other nodes or not, so I'm just going to leave it there for an experiment. But this zucchini is not going to make any more fruit unless it gets a new growing tip. So it's fun. We'll just watch it. I am going to trim off anything that's looking old and ratty, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Now, in my regular production, I will run zucchini plants. Let's see, I start them in February. I run those plants until about the middle of July, and then I take those plants out when the new batch is on. I start a new batch in April, and then the ones in April I run until October. So I actually have 2 batches of zucchini going. They overlap just a little bit in July. But I seem to get more production if I'm rotating that at least once through the summer. So that's something that we could have done here. We could have started another batch somewhere else and rotated this. In a home garden, not as important. Yeah, look at that. But if you are really trying to push your production, try one rotation in there. So that rotation again is plant in February, batch 1, take those out in July, plant batch 2 in April, take those clear until September, October when we get frost. Ha, gotcha. Got a pair of squash bugs this morning. they can go in the party jar. If I can get it open. There we go. Party jar's getting full. Whew, have a fun. Oh my gosh, that stinks. Wow. Don't want to be in that jar. Maybe they like the smell. Okay, where's that one coming from? Right there. Whew, that was full of water. That was interesting. Okay, now if you look at this plant, this is your growing tip right here, and this is what's missing off the other plant. It just comes out and it's just a leaf. So your growing tip has all your fruit happening. It's got the new fruit coming on. This, you guys will see this once in a while. This is a fruit that didn't pollinate. So what happened is, if you look at the female flower, it's right, ouch, stickery. This is the female flower right here, and this fruit is not pollinated yet. So when that opens, then it gets pollinated by the bees from the male fruit. And if that doesn't happen, let's say there's a day that a bee doesn't come by, this flower closes up, this fruit then dies, which is what you're seeing here. So if you're seeing a lot of this, it means you don't have any pollinators, or you may have like too wet or too cold or something like that. So I do have a few here that need to come off. That's the second one that didn't pollinate. So that's what's going on there. If a plant is fruiting really heavy, sometimes it'll skip a few of the fruits, and you'll get that as well. Okay, let's go back to cleaning up this plant. Take that leaf off there. If this one branch doesn't do anything after a while, we can leave it, but I may take it out and we could plant a little something in that corner. But I'm not too worried about it yet. We'll just see what it does. That'll be the fun part. Okay, we need to get some zucchinis off of here. I do have some nice ones today. I did not get out here midweek to get these guys. So more zucchini noodles for us. Oh, what's that? Hey, look, we got a weed. This is a cut leaf mallow. Got one. And that's that. Go back to harvesting zucchinis. Whoa, look at that one. That's a good one. It's not that preferable to make them quite that big, but here's a telltale sign. What did I do? Good water, bad water. Yep, we missed a watering. So if you're seeing that, little nipples on your zucchinis, mulch them and water like twice a day or something. Get that water more consistent for that plant. Okay, a few more. This side over here, I'm seeing really good growth tips. Everything's looking good. I am on the lookout for squash bugs. I haven't seen very many eggs, which is really nice. Doesn't mean they're not here, but okay. Another jumbo zucchini. Oh, that's a roly poly. I gotta go get my sluggo. It's down in the tomato department. Okay, let's grab my sluggo. Coming around. Okay, got my sluggo. We're gonna sluggo the whole garden. It's not very hard, just shake a little. Okay, zucchinis, what else do you need? Trim a few more leaves here. Oh, I don't like that one. Okay, we're going to call that good. Just make sure you're keeping your eye out for squash bugs. Get your party jar. And next we're going to take a look at the broccoli. Okay, here we are in the broccoli, and it is just kicking out again. Beautiful broccoli heads. So I'm just going to go through here and get my harvest. I don't think the plants need anything this week. You know, we fed them, a couple weeks ago. Still doing BT once a week in here. Haven't needed to kick it up to twice a week. I think it's because we have the colder nights. But yeah, this stuff just makes broccoli. It's kind of nice. Okay, here's our broccoli harvest for today, but I want to show you this one. This one is heat stressed. It's been hitting probably at least 105 in the afternoons in here. It's really hot in here. We don't work in here in the afternoons. But what I got is some of the flowers are very mature and they are ready to open, but then underneath I got flowers that are just starting out. So usually when we hit the heat of the summer, we'll get this heat stress on the plants. Broccoli doesn't like it hot, but that's what we're seeing. So I want to harvest this before the yellow flowers open. So I'll just have to eat the younger flowers in a younger state like that. Still totally edible. Very strange looking. If you're seeing this as just some heat stress, one of the things you could do is put a little shade cloth over it, give it a little afternoon shade. But anyways, totally edible, so I'm going to eat it. Okay, broccoli is done. Not a whole lot we need to do for the broccoli plants. We're going to go ahead and move on to the kale. The thing I love about this garden is mostly I'm out here watering and harvesting. That's about it. Got to maintain things once in a while, but it's really an easy garden to grow in, and I love that. All right, here's our kale for the week. That's just the right amount. I'm guessing there's 3/4 of a pound, so that's perfect. Thank you, Kale Patch. Okay, next we have the Joy Choy. It made its transplant. It's looking okay. I am seeing a little bit of flea beetle damage. I'll have to find some diatomaceous earth and dust this. If you dust, you want to do it after you water, and then when you water again, you want to dust again. So the flea beetles did find us again, and we may have to deal with a few holy leaves, but once you cook it, nobody knows, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, next. This squash plant is starting to take over the world, which I knew it would do. I got vines coming across my Swiss chard, and this is going to be a constant battle. So I'm just going to take those vines, lift them up, and redirect them, point them back into the squash pile. And then we're going to go ahead and harvest some of the Swiss chard. And it's putting out pretty nice. I like these smaller leaves. That's a way better size to cook. Okay, here's our Swiss chard that we got. There's 1/4 pound maybe. Not quite as much as we're used to getting, but it'll still be just fine. Probably because the squash is growing on top of it. Okay, now I've seen roly-polies, I've seen earwigs clear up into the top here. So we're just going to put a few of these pellets around, even down on this end, because those bugs will travel the whole length of the garden. It's not a very big garden. Okay, and I think we'll do this for probably 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks in a row until I see that population drop a little bit. So, okay, that's all we need to do here. And we're going to take a look at the squash and come around on this side. Got the sluggo in hand. We're going to just go ahead and put some more in. Just get that down to the soil level. And you'll have to, like I say, redo that once a week for a couple of weeks. Okay, so I have a couple things I need to do with the squash. I need to clip up a few of these vines. They're starting to get long again. Clips are in the tomatoes. Grab those. So control, we need to control these vines. They're looking fantastic. I'm very really glad that the summer warmed up for us. And then when they get to the top, we want them to go up over the trellis and then they can come back down. This one is just about long enough. Actually, I think I might be able to make it. It's long enough. I don't know if I am. Okay. There we go. Yeah, and then that'll just come and lay back down this way. Got lots of them going on the ground. I just want to redirect them and keep them out of my other beds. If you look down here, these are roots that are coming out, and these vines going across the ground, they'll just root everywhere. So they're pretty amazing plants. So I'm just going to keep leaning these in the aisle, keeping them out of everything. If I have to, I can get the scissors and trim them off. That one's doing all right. Keep an eye out for squash bug eggs. It's just a matter of looking under the leaves, but like I say, when they're vertical, you can just glance at them really quickly. These ones on the ground, you'll have to do a little more work. This is a zucchini plant. Remember there was a strange squash in here? It's definitely a zucchini. I see a little fruit coming. I'm going to leave it for a while, but I may not keep it. It may not be what I want in here. Okay, this one needs to go up the string. You could put these clips pretty much anywhere on the plant. It's not going to hurt it. But you want to have them at least every foot, especially if you're supporting fruit. And the reason I like it to go up over the trellis is it does give it more support for the fruits. But the fruits will not detach themselves like melons, so you don't have to sling them. They can just hang on their own accord. All right, I think that's about all these guys need. We'll feed them in a few weeks, but right now they're very happy. They like the hot days, the hot nights, and we're just going to let them do their thing. Okay, to the lettuce patch. The lettuce is looking really good. Get the cover off here. Oh, that was bad. Cover had straw in it. I got straw in my lettuce. Okay. Take that off first before I harvest. There's nothing worse than straw in your salad. It's easier to pick it off now than it is when we harvest. Okay, there we go. All right, these two patches are ready to harvest. That one, that's our transplanted one, looking good, and we got a bunch of seeds up, so we had a good week in the lettuce patch. All right, let's get some for the table. Okay, here's our lettuce harvest for the day. It's just perfect. We're in the vicinity of 2 pounds. That's great. I want to put some sluggo out just to keep the roly-polies at bay. Doesn't take much there. And I did have a couple weeds. There was a little bit of grass in there, so I harvested that. Usually by this time of year, most people's gardens are so covered in weeds that they give up and walk away. And we're still at this stage. So to me, that's where the garden systems differentiate, is we're harvesting and having fun, and they're, you know, what would you call it? Let's call it chest high in weeds. We'll go this height, or eye high, or something. Anyways, not many. So, you know, have a garden that's fun. This is the way to do it. Over here, this is our firecracker. It is looking spectacular. It's kind of fun because it kind of looks like fireworks going off up here on the top. So these are self-pollinating, so the plant will pollinate itself. I don't need another plant to pollinate it. This is kind of like a dandelion, but not quite. So it'll have the yellow flower, and then we're going to get the seed pods on here. So we're going to watch really closely for the seeds, and then we could pick off each pod and save it, or we can harvest kind of the whole head and put it in a bag and let it mature. But we're not quite to that stage yet. But just keep an eye on it if you got one of these going. It's really a lot of fun. You can do this with pretty much any variety of lettuce. So no matter what you got. Put it in a separate pot though, so it's not interrupting your production. Okay, we got one last thing to look at. That's our carrots, and then we'll look at the harvest. So let's go take a look at the carrots. Okay, here we are in the carrot patch. One of the things that I'm looking for in the carrots is spider mites, because I know we had some on the cucumbers right next door, but they're looking really good. I did have some spider mites that came off my strawberries and into my carrots in one of my other greenhouses, so I'm aware that they can get on these. Other than that, they're looking pretty good. I would like to have some to eat. So what I'm going to look for is ones that are kind of close together and just start to thin them a little bit. Oh, there's a little short one. What else we got in here? I have not dug through the carrot patch. Take a good look at it. Okay, oh, there's a long one. These are ones that are just growing beside each other. And I don't want them packed in here too tight. Oh man, oh, there's a crooked one. You know, carrots come in all shapes and sizes, but you never see these at the store because they, I guess, turn them into baby food or something. But when you have your own carrot patch, you're going to be surprised at what you get out of it. All kinds of things. See if we can get two more. Yeah, there's a nice one. Oh man, I can smell them. They smell so good. What's this guy doing? Oh, he's growing on top of another one. This one was a little squished. So he had one on either side. You can kind of see the squishing. But there's another one that you would never see at the store. But wouldn't that make an interesting conversation at the table? So this one I'll wash up and we'll put it on the table and we'll see what we think it looks like, and then we'll eat it. So that'll be fun. Okay, so there's my carrot harvest. That should be enough for the week. A little bit of sluggo. Just keep the critters at bay. That's it. Garden's done. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the harvest. Okay, here's our harvest for the day. For our kale, we had 0.77 pounds. Our Swiss chard, we had 0.4 pounds. The broccoli, we had 0.55 pounds. The shikaiku, we also had 0.55 pounds. The zucchini, there was 9.7 pounds. In the lettuce, there was 1.71 pounds. The carrots, there was 1.4 pounds. The cucumbers, there was 6.5 pounds. And the tomatoes, there was 3 pounds. So our total for this week was $81.64 worth of savings, and our year-to-date total is $1,722.99. So this little bitty garden is really rocking it out. So the garden gives us more than just amazing savings in vegetables. The 20-second gift that my garden gives me is awe. I am in awe of what this little seed can create if nurtured. And I'm in awe of what this small amount of space can produce. And I'm in awe of the sheer pleasure that the plants can bring to my life. I am truly blessed to have this garden and this farm in my life. Believe it or not, it's not too late to start your high-performance garden. Are you frustrated with your old garden? Have the weeds taken it over again? It's time for you to give up the old archaic row garden system. You've upgraded your phone and you've upgraded your computer. Now it's time to upgrade your garden system and start with a new high-performance garden system. So last year we had a student whose husband didn't believe that the soil in the system would make any difference in their gardening. But reluctantly, he built her a garden and she got started. And about midway through the first season, she sent me an email saying he is now a believer and is making her more beds. So they are in awe of their garden now as well. So if you're ready to make the switch, now is the time. Learn how to grow in a high-performance garden, build your beds this fall, and be ready for the spring. But here's the caveat. If you are a southern gardener, you can plant a high-performance garden any day of the year. Any day of the year. So go to the website and look at the section that says what can I plant today chart, and see what you can plant in your area right now. So make the commitment today to get started. So if you would like to see this garden in person, I invite you to come and visit. We are open for tours Thursday through Sunday from 1 to 6, May through October. So go to thelivingfarm.org for details. Until next time, may your garden be easy, fun, productive, and always organic.